What's going on, guys? Josh here from Momentum Productions, and today I'm going to tell you what exactly I took with me on my trip to New Zealand. All right, let's get into it. Wait, the travel video isn't done yet. I don't want to show you any more of the clips. This is actually going to be a 3-part video. Part 1 is going to be what I packed in my camera bag. Part 2 is how I got the shots that I got. And part 3 is how I'm editing the travel video. So make sure you're subscribed with those notifications turned on so that you are alerted when parts 2 and 3 come out. So here's exactly what happened. I boarded a plane, went to Australia, boarded a ship, and sailed all the way to New Zealand. Now, unfortunately, because I was on a cruise ship, they did not allow me to take a drone on board. So the drone that I'm gonna show you in today's video is only relevant if you're not taking a cruise ship. Most of the countries that you fly to, they allow you to bring a drone with you on the airplane. But make sure you check with your travel agency or whoever you're flying with before you take your drone with you. You don't want them confiscating it. All right, let's start off with this. This is a 500 gigabyte hard drive. This is probably one of the best things that you can buy to ensure that you protect your data. I, of course, would like to back it up on my computer first and then onto the drive coming from your SSD. That way you have 2 forms of a backup in case one drive fails, one on your computer or one external. So you want to make sure that you have a backup. Obviously, I don't need to talk too much about the computer, but the computer is a must for transferring your files, to look over files, and to do some light editing. So I'm going to leave a link for this drive in the description box below. They make SSDs now, which are a little bit more expensive, but honestly, as long as you have 500 gigs with you for about a week's worth of travel, I think you should be good. Next, we have a powerful LED light from SONY. I reviewed this light. You can check out the video for it right here. This is very powerful, and it's just a thin light that provides you with a ton of light. And this is definitely one of the best things to take with you, especially if you're going to be shooting in dimly lit environments. This thing can definitely light up a dark cave if that's where you're going. All right, this one's very important. This is a dual charger for my Sony A9 camera. This is a third-party charger from a company called EachShot. This charger actually comes in a package with 2 extra batteries, so this is definitely a must, and I highly recommend this charger. Next up, we have headphones. If you want to monitor audio or just do some light editing, as I mentioned before, on your computer, definitely pick up some good headphones. These are the Master and Dynamic headphones. They're actually on the pricier side, so if you want to look for cheaper headphones, that's all good. I'll post some links for you on headphones that I do recommend. Next up, we have not a GoPro. This is actually called a Cross Tour action camera. It's 4K. It's like around $100 and it comes with a lot of accessories. I'm gonna review this camera very shortly. Maybe in about a week or two, I'm gonna release a review video on it. But definitely recommend bringing an action camera with you, especially if you're gonna do a lot of swimming and going underwater. You wanna have that type of angle. I unfortunately did not go swimming in New Zealand since it was pretty cold in the water, so I didn't get any underwater shots. But in general, this is actually a good crash cam, as I like to call it, a camera that can be destroyed and you won't cry over it. But this is definitely one of those risk-taking cameras. You definitely don't want to be taking your expensive camera on your riskier journeys. Maybe just an action camera will be just enough for you. Next, we have a flexible tripod here. This is a great way to mount your action camera or even your DSLR camera or mirrorless camera. It's very light, thin, and can easily fit into most camera bags, and it's a lot thinner and smaller than a Joby Gorilla Pod. Next, we have a power bank. This is a Mophie power bank, 10,000 milliamp hours. This is great to charge your iPhone 3 times, and it has 2 USB outputs, so you can charge maybe an Apple Watch and an iPhone at the same time, or any other accessories that can charge via USB. Highly recommend this thing. Next up, we have a highly overlooked accessory. This is a plug to USB connection or adapter or converter, however you want to call it. Most things now are charged via USB, so make sure you bring a few of these along for the trip. That way you have enough chargers available to you. Next, we have the DJI Mavic Pro. I was able to bring it into Australia with some ND filters, but I was not able to take it with me on the actual New Zealand trip. That was probably the biggest bummer of my whole entire trip, but I think I was able to get some pretty awesome footage without the drone, but that just tells me that I'm gonna come back to New Zealand with the drone to get even more epic shots. If you wanna know my initial thoughts on the DJI Mavic 2 Pro, check out this video right here. And these ND filters from Polar Pro, definitely probably the best ND filters on the market. I reviewed these as well. Next, we have the Gimbal Weeble Lab. This is a gimbal. This allows me to get those stable, smooth, buttery shots. And for those of you who are wondering, yes, you will be able to balance a camera like the Sony A9 with a 16-35 f4 lens, which is a pretty beefy setup, even with a small rig cage. So I was able to balance it, and actually all the shots that I shot in New Zealand were with this setup. So if you're wondering, yes, it is possible, and there actually will be a 40% increase in power in an upcoming firmware for the Weeble Lab. If you watch my latest video, you'll know that I do recommend 3 lenses, a wide, medium, and telephoto. These are those 3 lenses. We have a 16-35, 24-70, and an 85mm 1.8 telephoto lens. These are probably my go-to lenses whenever I'm shooting. So if you want to check out the video where I talk about these lenses and talk about shooting B-roll, check out the video right here and you'll learn all about it. Next, I want to talk about these third-party batteries for Sony a7 III, a7R III, the Sony a9 even. These batteries work just as well as the original Sony batteries, but they come at only a fraction of the price. These batteries actually came with this charger, as I mentioned before, and yes, they are just fantastic. I love the price, and they really do the job pretty well. And of course, we can't forget our little blower here. So this is a great tool to get rid of lens dust and sensor dust. For those of you who are wondering, I'm actually using a MacBook Pro from late 2016, I wanna say. Yeah, this is a MacBook Pro with Touch Bar. Love this computer. It dominates 4K footage like butter, especially with Final Cut Pro. So if you want to learn more on how I edit videos, check out this video right here. Also, I have a USB 3.0 multi-card reader. This is a great card reader. It's made out of metal, aluminum, and it's a very fast card reader, and it's good for CF cards, micro SD cards, SD cards, basically any other type of card that's on the market. This is perfect for you. And of course, I have my memory card wallet filled with a bunch of memory cards, and this is like $2. I'll leave a link for it in the description box below, but definitely keep your SD cards organized in some sort of wallet so that way you don't lose anything. And to top it all off, I use a Think Tank Photo Retrospective 30 sling bag. It's actually kind of like a messenger bag. It's a canvas bag. And I hiked in this thing and I was able to put my laptop in here. All of this equipment that you see right now, I was able to fit in there along with my headphones, gimbal, mini tripod, Mophie battery, card reader. I was not able to fit the drone along with this whole setup here, but if you want more space, definitely get a backpack like this one here. This one is a backpack made by Jiwon. I don't think they make this as a separate purchase yet. This is actually gonna come with a big package with one of their gimbals. But if they do make this backpack separately, I'll let you guys know and I'll put a link for it in the description box below. But this sling bag right here, Think Tank Photo guys, they make the best bags on the market. I mean, the quality, your dollar is actually gonna work harder for you with these bags than any other piece of equipment, in my opinion, because these things can withstand water, dirt, dust, doesn't matter. This thing has been through hell and back in New Zealand, and it still looks like it's brand new. So if you're interested, look in that description box, and I'll tell you where to find one. And one last thing that you need to bring, I almost forgot to put this in the video, is your cell phone. That's right, your cell phone. Not only for you to communicate with other people you're traveling with, but to take photos and videos, because there are times when we can't take our big bulky cameras or we forget equipment, but the least most forgotten piece of gear that anybody takes with them is their phone. And you'll be surprised at how good your camera quality is on your phone. So make sure you use it. That was a lot. That was a lot. I mean, I'm looking back at the table right now. It doesn't seem like a lot, but it's a lot for me to talk about. But I hope that gave you a generalization of why I took this equipment with me on my trip to New Zealand and Australia. I do think this is like essential gear for every filmmaker to have. I covered lighting, I covered cameras, I covered lenses for the most part. One thing I did miss was audio. Thankfully, I didn't really need audio on this trip. Mainly, I pick up the audio from the inbuilt microphones on the Sony A9. But I do recommend Rode microphones as they make some awesome mics, and they're actually the best mics for your money. I did a review of a bunch of different microphones. You can check out the playlist right here. And yeah, that's exactly what's going down. So if you guys are interested in seeing parts 2 and 3 to this video, part 2 is actually probably gonna be the most interesting part of this whole entire series as I cover how I got some of the shots, or actually all of the shots that I'm going to be showing in my traveling video. And I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna edit my traveling video and why I edit it a certain way. So don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe with those notifications turned on, and you'll be notified when parts 2 and 3 come out. Thank you guys so much for watching, and happy traveling. Peace.